again. It's Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit here on MAV TV, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. And we are so glad that you have joined us. Ashley Stremme and Steve Post. Ashley, we went through the pandemic where we were all sitting around bored. Now we're going through the chaos of playing catch-up. You were in Lernerville this past week. You're out on the road. The NASCAR schedule's on the road. Man, I went from bored to tired here. What happened?
It's so true. I know we've said it so many times that we were in a lull there for so long, but now the racing's been so great in so many places across the country.
The racing has been phenomenal. As you are watching this, I'm partaking in Pennsylvania Speedway, and that is so exciting. And speaking of phenomenal racing, I want to give you this. Bill Klingbeil, just one of the great behind-the-scenes guy in the sport. He is our guest today. He's going to join us on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Now, back to the great racing. Saturday night was the AGCO Jackson Nationals up in Jackson, Minnesota. And check this out. This is a race between Sheldon Haudenschild, Brad Sweet, and Logan Schuchart. It was on Dirt Vision. Johnny Gibson and Austin Lloyd with a call. It's our Dryden Diesel all death-defying move of the week.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
With 8 to go, we've got a 3-car battle for the race lead. Brad Sweet, slide job, he leads, but only for about 10 yards. Schuchart back to his inside, and Haudenschild's right there as well. 3 cars every which way through turns 3 and 4. Here comes Haudenschild to the outside of Sweet, over the cushion goes Sheldon Haudenschild.
Here's Sweet to the inside, and 3 and 4 looking for the lead, and he's got it. The big cat now is Schuchart right alongside him. Sweet led lap 29.
Sweet out in front, Schuchart gets him right back through turns 1 and 2 and pulls away down the backstretch.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official DEF of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Pride. Passion.
Performance.
We are.
We are.
We are Team Dryden.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit here on MAV TV. And you know, we were kicking around who to talk to this week. And I'm like, let's go really behind the scenes and just kind of have a session like we do at the racetrack. And who better to talk to than our buddy Bill Klingbeil, who joins us from, I believe, a Starbucks parking lot somewhere in America. Hey, Bill, how are you?
I'm great, Steve. Great to be on. And yeah, we're at Starbucks. Just all this crazy new virtual offices. This is mine for at least a little while today.
Yeah, we have 20-minute offices and 30-minute offices and everything else. Bill, you've got a fascinating story, and you've been so much part of this sport of sprint car racing for so long. I actually want to go back. Your passion for racing, your passion for sprint car racing, where did your journey start?
Well, like a lot of us, if you don't have passion for it, you're not going to do it. It started as I was the little kid that on Saturday afternoons, my dad would take me to a little dirt track near Peoria Speedway. And if there was a threat of rain or there was a chance that we weren't going to get to the racetrack, man, I was a wreck. So I was a kid that went right to the photo booth, had my favorite guy, had to get a picture. I even got my picture taken, and my dad got it for me. But it sunk in early. I love going to the races every Saturday night. And for summers, I just look forward to it. And it's, you went weekly, and then all of a sudden, my dad saw how much I enjoyed it, and he enjoyed it too. So we kind of were able to go to a few bigger races. And by the time I was 13, he drove a pace car at a dirt track, a 62 Corvette. So I got to ride in that pace car every Saturday night, pace sprint cars. We just missed one Saturday that year because he said, hey, we're going to go to the 1985 Knoxville Nationals. And so obviously from there, it's just been incredible. It kind of is in my blood, and as much as, or I have, like all of us have, try to get away from it, and maybe you do something else. But Ricky Warner once said in a video we were shooting for STP way back, he said, racing is not it's a life sentence. So I heard that, and I was like, you know what, he's definitely right, because this is all I know, and it's been a crazy ride for sure.
Bill, you talk about, I guess you could say just a love and a passion and a hobby, but when did it really come into turning into a job for you? And I don't want to call it a job because it's not that, but actually getting paid to do what you love to do.
Well, like all of you guys too, you kind of get started, and I had a passion. I mentioned going to the 1985 Knoxville Nationals as a 14-year-old, and I had a passion for photography. So here I'm with a kid dragging a camera bag around, and I think my dad even said 10 years ago, man, it was a pretty good idea for you to carry that camera bag around, wasn't it? But I'm standing in corner one, shooting images of all these guys, and of course, none of them came out. They're blurry. I'm not up to speed like all these professional guys, but man, I'm standing there in turn one, and that night Doug Wolfgang happened to win the Race of States, he didn't win, but he was winning everything in 1985. Went to college, did all sorts of things, and like we do in our early 20s, we got away from racing a little bit, but was living in St. Louis. Picked up a St. Louis Post-Dispatch because I was an avid sports page reader every day, and there was an ad for the World of Outlaws coming to Tri-City Speedway late July. Showed up there and just like, man, this is crazy. Picked up a program, but the problem back then was the programs were like yearbooks. So it was 1994, and I was taking my went over there, was taking some friends to the races, and I was trying to tell them, hey, this is this guy, but they were looking at this program, and it was all the cars were different. They didn't know it was there, so I said, man, I got to do something. So I taught myself how to be a graphic designer, and I did a one-page newsletter. It was called An Outlaw Trail. And I interviewed, it was when TNN was starting to get going here. They were going to get TV on sprint cars. I was like, man, I'm going to be a pit reporter. I want to figure out how to do that. So I started interviewing these guys so that I could write a newsletter. And it was a one-page flyer. I gave it to Johnny Gibson. He put it in the program. He bought the program, and there was a story about whether it was Mark Kinzer or Jeff Swindell or one of these guys. And it was like, okay, if nobody's been here before, they don't know who to root for, but maybe I can tell a story about a guy that they may like and they have someone to root for. So I did that for a year and a half, and then I got a call in 1996 from Tom Schmay. Still not, only thing I'm getting paid for is, I was like, I want to go to the races so I can trade this for a pit pass or a credential. It's like, I get to go to like 8 to 10 outlaw races a year and kind of for free. So I got a call in June of 1997 from Tom Schmay. Hey, we're a little bit short on articles for the Nationals program. Can you write something? We saw one of your outlet trails. It's like, wow, this would be pretty cool. I'd definitely do it, but you got to get me a credential. Because at the time, I was like every other fan. I had my season tickets for the Nationals where all the people around me drank beer, but I got to go there and be excited. So now all of a sudden it's I've got to write a story for the Nationals. And he's like, you write on whatever you want. And I remember I was there in 95, and it was the year Greg Hodnett made a huge run through the alphabet soup, started in the middle of the C, came all the way up through the B, and then he made it to the A, and I think he made it up into the top 5. And I had talked with Greg a couple of other times, and I thought, well, he's a great guy. I want to just have a chance to write the story. So I wrote a whole story about what it meant to him, to be able to make that alphabet soup run and what it meant for his career. And then like in 97, that particular year, he finished second. So we always had a kind of a cool little bond that was as part of what Greg and I had going. But at that particular Nationals, and you guys can all relate to this, here I am, this hustler, man. I gotta get in there. I gotta figure out a way to make it in this deal. And if you're from Pennsylvania, which actually I know you are, Bev's Briefs used to be a column in Area Auto News, Bev Thompson. Yeah. So I'm standing behind Bev Thompson, and I haven't seen Bev Thompson since. Probably it's been a long time since. I'm standing behind her in the line at the press room at the Knoxville in the Dyer Hudson Hall. We've all been in there many times. Used to do the press lunch in there, getting in line in food for the food line, and she happens to be in front of me, and I was like, she's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, I wrote this story, but man, I'm going to get in this sport. I'm going to figure it out. And she's like, well, you got the right attitude to make it work. And she's like, don't give up. And I was like, it just happened that was the year that Amoco Oil Company was sponsoring Dave Blaney's 1998 World of Outlaws team. Bottom of that press release, there was a guy named Lee Dorrington's phone number on there. And I blew Lee Dorrington's phone up for about a month and a half and said, you got to have me out here. Amoco needs a PR rep to not only represent Dave Blaney and his team, but also the Amoco Knoxville Nationals. Kind of he called me in December. Kathy Leach was the brand manager at Amoco, and she called me and said, Bill, we're going to hire you. We're going to have you come out and be on the road. You're going to go to half a dozen races. You're going to support the Knoxville Nationals and make sure Amoco gets as much brand exposure as you can. So that's when I first started getting paid, and I'm sure you got to know the question because there's a long list from there.
Well, no doubt. It is absolutely amazing. I listened to your story, and the parallels to me are unreal. And we've never had this how we got started talk. But I mean, it is scary listening to your story because I mean, I'm the same guy. There's a 5 Mile Point Speedway in my background. There's an Al Robinson versus Bev Thompson in mine. There's all these people. That's absolutely amazing. But one of the things we need to do, though, we do need to step away. And hey, everyone, hang in there. More with Bill Klingbeil coming up in just a moment.
Hey Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy. Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. Joining us on the Hercules Tire Hotline is Bill Klingbeil, okay? And we spent the first segment how we got started in this, and as happens a lot of times, careers take us, through various phases and various things. I think my first meeting with Bill was probably with True Speed with Tony Stewart Racing, Donnie Schatz, and that whole crew. But Bill, I kind of want to take a turn in the road here because somewhere over the last 4, 5, 6 years, this thing got real personal for you.
Yep.
Because you're out on the road, and I'm assuming apparently at some point you met this wonderful woman named Dana, okay, who is the mother of Logan Schuchart, the daughter of Bobby Allen. You fell in love, you married her. What was that whole scenario like as you were intertwining professional, personal, different teams, and all of that?
Pretty incredible. I mean, we're on this journey of life, and we talked about kind of how I got started and all the other paths that are out here. But when you're in the racing business, it's a passion. It's 24/7, and to be able to come out here and find somebody that you connect with, that you love, and that has the passion for life the way that you do, and also has an interest in racing. I mean, this is our job. This is our life. So, when we're out on the road, and all of you we're all in the same boat here. You're at a track every weekend or a lot of weekends. And you have to find someone that has common ground there. So just through a mutual friend by chance, you guys aren't going to believe this, and I can't believe I'm telling on national TV, but I had a nickname out on the road a little bit, and they call me Wild Bill. Every once in a while after some good racing, we like to go have some fun, and they say Wild Bill's out. And actually, Wild Bill got to come out up in Jackson after an awesome win by Logan. But yeah, so our friend Amy Jones, she was telling Dana, who was her high school childhood friend, they grew up together, said, man, you got to meet this Wild Bill. So she totally threw me under the bus. We're down at Volusia. And she says, hey, Bill, come down here. I want to introduce you to somebody. And because I had said to my friend Amy, I said, boy, she's pretty, man. She's got some great lips. I'd like to kiss those lips. Totally just being a guy. And she walks me down there at Volusia, and she says, hey, Bill, Dana, this is my friend Wild Bill. He thinks you got pretty lips. I'd like to kiss him. Why don't you kiss him? She made me kiss her. And I was like, oh, my God. So I walked in. I was so embarrassed, and I walked away. And that was in February. And then I saw her a little bit in May. We interacted at Williams Grove a little bit. And then actually you talked about I was at Williams Grove Summer Nationals late July and in August. And she was over there. Her and her friend Shalina were over talking to Tony Stewart about donating something for Shark Fest or something along those lines. And she sent me a note after the race because Donnie had won. And she sent us, oh, congratulations on the win. This is Dana. And a few minutes before that, I'd gotten a message from Amy. Hey, is it okay if I give Dana your phone number? So just friendship. And then we were at Knoxville about 3 weeks later. And of course, I like doing everything for everybody. They were renting a motorhome, and you guys know how it is when you rent a motorhome, there's nothing. And I said, I have a motorhome. I've got whatever you need. Just come get it. So they were literally coming over every day, a couple times a day, borrowing things. So Dana and I had started our friendship there. It happened to be the year that Donnie went from 21st to first, and it was just an incredible time. And she was just like, this is really, cool that you're just a regular person. You're not somebody that's overwhelming. But so that kind of started our relationship. And then, that next year, Logan, Bobby, Jacob were going out on the road. And so one of the things I really tried to do is obviously our friendship and our relationship was beginning to build. Was able to get a hold, to kind of start to know Logan a little bit. I said to him, and I made a point to him, and I said, okay, tell me, every night I saw him that rookie year, I said, tell me 3 things you learned. Just so this 21-year-old kid could start talking about what he was experiencing, whether it was on the racetrack, whether it was anything that was there. And So from there, it grew. And in the fall of 2017, we kind of made some changes where I was at. I was with one team, and that was asked to be changed. So I said, okay, we'll make that change. And I put all my energy on the sprint car side of things into Logan and Shark Racing. And man, what an awesome ride it's been to be able to not only get Logan and Jacob feeling where they are, but to have a father-in-law that's a Hall of Famer, that's incredible, that's had this dream, this vision to connect them with Dryden and bring a sponsorship on and just continue to elevate their program. And it's, you can see I'm smiling. It's an incredible ride.
You talk about that, Bill. Obviously, we know racing is a family sport, but I think Shark Racing takes it to a whole nother level. All of you involved are some way related in some way, shape, or form. And I think that's what makes it so incredible, because you've done PR and marketing. You know what's expected of these sponsors and your partnerships that you have with these guys. But what's it like, obviously, trying to lead Logan and Jacob into all of this to make things happen and make these sponsorships work, but also being a bonus dad at the same time?
Wow, that part's incredible, and I'll touch on that at the end because it's just so much pride. But the fun part for me, we talked about it earlier, the where I started and all the things that I've experienced from, and you can talk about corporate partnerships, whether it was at the U.S. Army and Tony Schumacher going to the U.S. Nationals and winning the biggest races, or Steve Kinzer and Bass Pro Shops, or Tony Stewart, or all the things that we did at TSR. But when you can bring a team, and Bobby even said it, hey, you came along at the right time. My team, we were not ready in 2015 or 2016 to have a corporate sponsor. So the great thing for family-wise and to lead them through these things is the fact that they believe in me. They know that I'm looking out for them. But you hit on it earlier. I mean, when it's family, everything you're doing, from the engines being built by Michael Newman, who is Dana's cousin, and Bob has taught him how to build that business. And he's got, we've got awesome engines. We've got Bobby that's leading these boys, where pretty much now he has it. So Jacob runs his team, Logan runs his team, and they're doing everything they need to do, on the racetrack. Then they lean on me to help them with things that we're doing, whether it's through sponsorship, whether it's Dryden or NGK, or, we have a new group, C&D Rig, anybody that we can bring along. They're just taking it step by step. And the great thing about Logan and Jacob too, obviously Logan's my bonus son. So he's like a big sponge, man. Anything that I can put water out there, he's just going to absorb it.
Man, I respect you. That is cool. Bill, I'm telling you, we love working with you. Of course, earlier this week, it's funny how these all wrap together. Earlier this week, Logan was on Wing Nation, so talking about that Jackson Nationals win. And actually earlier this week, Sherry Hodnett, Greg's widow, was on our podcast and talking about it. It's just funny how this world all comes together. Bill, as always, we appreciate your time, and we'll see you down the road. But thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
Thank you guys for having me. Keep up the good work. You guys are awesome.
There we go. That's Bill Klingbeil joining us here on Wing Nation on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Stay with us. Our Tweet Your Seat tweets of the week are coming up next.
Power isn't born. It's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers, whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Welcome back. You're watching Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit. It is your time of the week. That's right. It's time to tweet your seats. We're kicking it off with night one of Red Robin PA Speed Week. It is the 30th annual Williams Grove Speedway. The tweets come from Rich, Kenny, Chris, Steve, Jeff, Derek, and Brian. It was Lance DeWeese is your winner. No surprise. His 99th career win. Almost going to etch that triple-digit 100. He was followed by Brian Monteith, and he held off Kyle Larson.
Red Robin Pennsylvania Speedway continued on to the fabulous Lincoln Speedway with a fabulous race. What a thriller this one was. These tweets from Shay, from Rich, from Wanda, from Kenny, from Matt, from KSL, and from Mark. It was an epic battle. Kyle Larson, Lance DeWeese, and Danny Dietrich just going at each other. The $9,200 paycheck at the end of the night went to Danny Dietrich, winning the 21st annual Kevin Gobrecht Memorial. Dietrich over Larson and Lance DeWeese. What a thriller that one was.
And add $5,099 to Dietrich's pocket after the Selinsgrove win. These tweets come from Rob Nigel, Winged 410s, Jeff KSL, Derek, and Kelly. It was the Jan Opperman Dick Boger Classic Memorial. Like I said, Danny won it, and he beat Rico Abreu and Kyle Larson. And real quick, we talked about the Kramer Cup on our podcast last week. The winner was Mark Smith.
That is so neat for sure up there at Selinsgrove. The Jackson Nationals, we've talked a little bit about that over the course of this program. These tweets from Max, from our friend Rachel, from JDK. It's the 42nd annual AGCO Jackson Nationals. Thursday night race winner was Brad Sweet. Friday night, Logan Schuchart. What a race on Saturday night. Winner, $30,000 to Logan Schuchart. It was Logan over Brad Sweet, and Darren Pittman sneaking up there at the end for a podium finish.
Now to Caney Valley Speedway in Kansas. This tweet comes from Rob. It was the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, and no surprise, Sam Haferty Jr., a great battle with Scott Baguski, and he beat out Roger Crockett to round out the podium.
So great to have the ASCS National Tour back and running. That was their opener. They raced again on Saturday night, and all of the action is on MAV TV for the ASCS National Tour. All right, let's go to Sharon Speedway. Tweets from Tuffy, from Sue, from Ken, and from Rod. Well, the season opener, and how about this? Dave Blaney sporting a throwback to his father Lou Blaney's car, and every car, especially a throwback, looks good in Victory Lane. Dave Blaney over George Hobaugh and AJ Flick.
Redmond Raceway, the tweet came from, and it was from Fremont. It was the Attica Fremont Championship Series. Your winner was Chad Kemenal, his 13th career Fremont win, and he was followed by Caleb Griffin and Cale Conley.
Over to 34 Raceway, tweets from Clay and from Brad. It was the Sprint Invaders. Winner, Paul Nienheiser. Paul Nienheiser over McKenna Hasse and Jamie Ball.
This tweet comes from Jeremy. It was Beaver Dam for the MSA Sprints. There was 42 cars entered, and Brandon McMullen was your winner.
Oh, I love this one. I-80 Speedway, tweets from Corby and from Allen. I see my buddy Brad Baker from ibracing.com here. It was the Nebraska 360 Sprints. The winner, Lee Gross, who's another great story in the sprint car world.
Now to Plymouth Speedway. This tweet comes from Mandy. It was the USAC National Sprint Cars, and your winner was Justin Grant.
Great stuff. We appreciate the tweets, the tweet your seats that you send us, and just keep them coming, and we'll keep showing them here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. Have you ever heard of the FPS 410 sprint car engine? If you haven't, you will.
It's the result of a collaboration between Ford Performance, Tony Stewart Racing, and Durham Racing Engines. Tony Stewart used it in his team's sprint car for the first time in mid-August last year, and 2 weeks later, TRS scored its first 410-equipped victory with the legendary Donnie Schatz behind the wheel.
So what's in FPS 410's future? The goal is an engine that can challenge for victories in series across the country as part of a Ford Performance customer program. Now that sounds like a winner.
Hey Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honeycrisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy. Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
There are people who say things aren't made here anymore. Those people should make a trip to Michigan, or Kentucky, or Illinois, where you'll find our workers and dealers and engineers and technicians building for America. We're proud to employ more hourly workers than any other automaker in this country, because we build for this country.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit here on MAV TV. Loved it. Bill Klingbeil joined us earlier on the Hercules Tire Hotline. As I mentioned, somewhere along the way here, I am in Pennsylvania, the Greg Hodnett Memorial tonight at Port Royal. And Ashley, you know it's a little different time of the year because of the COVID. Pennsylvania Speed Week wrapping up this weekend, but Ohio Speed Week starting this weekend. It is a great time to be a sprint car fan.
It sure is. It's 2 weeks of nonstop racing in the sprint car world. And also make sure you tune into CBS Sports tonight to catch the World of Outlaws and the sprint cars with the late models at Cedar Lake Speedway.
Yes, someone I know is going to be part of that broadcast team. You've done a wonderful job with that stuff, so I can't wait to see. I'm going to have to DVR. If you don't mind, I'm going to be at Port Royal, so I'll DVR, okay?
This time.
Okay, man, I'm glad I got your permission to miss it for going to the Speed Palace. Thanks again to Bill Klingbeil for joining us. More important than all of that, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.